And Mine Crypto here. I hope we're all having a wonderful day. Please remember, I'm not a financial advisor and none of this is financial advice, and none of the information provided in this video should ever be taken or seen as a signal to buy or to sell. Well, we are here looking at the crypto bubbles, and as we can see, well, looking a bit red and looking a bit green for some of these other coins, but not for Quant at the moment. We are still sitting at that $90, just below that $91. We're currently ranked 83 with a market cap of $1.1 billion, 24-hour volume. Still very, very low at $12 million in the last 24 hours. And as we can see, we're down 0.6% in the last hour, down 1.4% in the last day, and down 0.4% in the week. We're currently down 22% for the year. But things are very slow at the moment, not just for Quant, but I believe for quite a lot of those utility coins. But for me, it's just a matter of time until we see some adoption within this utility driven ecosystem. Now, if we move over to Quant exchange reserves, and as we can see on the spot exchange, still ranging at that 250,000 mark. We're currently 253 on exchanges at the moment. And on the full exchange, if we have a look here, 1.6 million. So ranging between that 1.59 million to 1.6 million. Will we see a drop over the next coming weeks, months? I believe so. Now, I see this from Confidential, and I've been thinking this quite a lot. Why are crypto investors so entitled? Can't wait 3 years on early stage investments, but will slave away till their pension at 70 years old. Fix your mental model. And I completely agree. There's many people in this space that turn their eyes up having to hold something for 1 or 2 years, which for me is a very short investment, even in itself. And any longer, that's just seen as a shite coin. People start throwing their toys out the pram. They don't want to be holding any longer, in my opinion, for more than 3 to 6 months, because they're hoping on some moon, some coin that's going to make them $1 million from $80. But you're also seeing quotes like that on crypto Twitter, where you're seeing someone invested $100 into a coin and made, so many million. Problem is, most of that is actual lies, because most people wouldn't hold that long unless you were in a coma or you just literally lost your wallet and couldn't access it, because that person that would be making that type of money would bail out a lot quicker and a lot earlier than that. So, in my opinion, it's almost like that those shiny new meme coins that are getting pumped could be a massive distraction, misdirection towards those coins, whilst removing your sight towards those coins that do actually have some real world use case. That's just my opinion. What would be the best way to get people out of their coins is to bore them, to send them in a different direction, and then at some point when they're ready, just pull the plug and they're already positioned within those utility coins. It's just my opinion. That's exactly what I think they're doing at the moment. Now, if we see here, we see this from El Strado. I think it's amusing that a lot of you are claiming Quant is dead. Mark my words, a move up is imminent. And I have a feeling it will be violent. Years of beautiful consolidation and accumulation. And he's absolutely right, because if we look here, we look back to September 22, we've literally ranged within this accumulation zone, and we're currently ranging low at the moment. So I am grabbing a few more, currently at that $90 there. So this accumulation has been going on for ages, and at some point we will pop out of this box. How far we'll go, I don't know, but I am waiting for that time. Now, we also see this from Tokenizer, an absolutely brilliant tweet. And he says here, if you thought Project Rosalind was big, you're not ready for Project Agora. All 7 banks in here have already connected or leveraging quant related standards in their CBDC test. As we can see, a Bank of France, Eurosystems, TIPS, HTLC, API gateways. The Bank of Japan, Standardized Digital Currency Paper, TC307 reference. And we've got Bank of Korea, EKRW, CBDC with BIS, SATP for Unified Ledger, Bank of Mexico, which is the member of Latchain Alliance. We've got Swiss National Bank, Project Jura with BIS, RTGS and DLT. Bank of England, Project Rosalind with the BIS, used over ledger. And we got Federal Reserve, NY, CEDA, UBIN, CBDC, WMAS, HTLC, API gateway. So it's looking absolutely awesome. And the FUD before that was Rosalind was just a proof of concept. That doesn't apply to Agora, though. There's a reason why there are so many central banks involved within this effort. It's not easy coordinating so many massive counterparties, and they would only do so when they felt that they were ready for the next phase. The next phase is Project Agora, a larger scaled CBDC ecosystem with multiple parties spread across the world operating together on a unified ledger approach to the Finternet. The Bank of France, representing all of the Eurosystem in this approach, is especially interesting. Eurosystem comprises of the European Central Bank and national central banks of member states whose currency is the euro. So while there are technically only 7 banks here, it'll affect all of those under the European Central Bank system. As we all know, the European Commission itself has already shown its backing of SATP and ISO TC 307 standard. In fact, we can see Eurosystem directly referenced in the API Gateway framework, exactly like that. And as we can see down in here, Eurosystem Market Infrastructure API Gateway. And if we move down, then there is a category of central banks that have already experimented and using the API-based innovation. We've got Japan, Korea, England, the Fed NY, and we can see this here, Project Rosalind, referencing that there. We've evidently seen all these names use quant created standard solutions in CBDC. And finally, the remaining 2 being Swiss National Bank and the Bank of Mexico. While neither of these have directly shown their own efforts of CBDC innovations with quant related standards like the former, there is a line of connections laid out. With the SNB, we know they've tested CBDCs with the BIS quite early on, so reasonable given BIS is based in Switzerland. This also includes Six Group and their Swiss digital exchange in SDX. We've seen the connections to both SDX platform itself, but also how it used interoperability scenarios with other CBDC pilots early on in Helvetia. The Bank of Mexico hasn't shown any direct relations to SATP and ISO TC307 either, though they are a member of LACChain Alliance. In November 2023, we saw LACnet, the builders behind LACChain, join ISO TC307 as a Class A liaison. In other words, all LATAM and all Caribbean DLT efforts are already complying to ISO TC307. This was all planned long ago. Project Rosalind really looks like it could be the final piece of the puzzle now. One final piece, don't forget that UK RLN, which also uses quant directly as a core technology, will be working alongside Project Agora soon enough. This was verified by Citi's head of emerging payments, Tony McLaughlin, in the UK Finance webinar. It would make sense that they use the same common standardized interoperability solutions to make it happen. Project Agora will dwarf everything we've seen out of CBDC innovations yet. And I absolutely agree. And I think people are not patient. They don't want to wait and they want it right now, which is kind of sad, really, because patience is something that we should all have. Consumerism gone wrong in some respects because people can just get what they want immediately without the duration, without the longevity. This has been going on for some time now, and I believe we are at the last part, that last hurdle, as we can see here from Cyprus to Manicore. Wake up. The entire time they have been scaring you out of crypto. They have been developing the infrastructure so that large organizations and institutions can adopt these new technologies. And again, I still believe they are directing people towards these memes. This is why I believe there's so many memes out there capturing people's attention whilst drawing your attention away from actual real utility. So let's have a listen to this Web Summit in Qatar.
How has your R&D changed for Web3 startups?
Yeah, well, we've been investing since 2014 in the space and so have seen several cycles. I mean, what's exciting right now is the amount of infrastructure that's been built. There's a lot of questions on scalability, not dissimilar to the internet in 1995, 1996, when it was really slow to download anything, send an email, and what we've seen great strides in is these layer 2 solutions. How do you verify transactions better or more efficiently with zero knowledge proofs, and so that whole scaling has been built over the last few years since 2020, and that's going to enable new applications to be built and enterprises to better utilize blockchain infrastructure. So I think we're just getting to the point where we're going to see more mass adoption over the next 5 years.
There you go, mass adoption over the next 5 years. That really gets me excited, definitely. So there you go, guys. Please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any further quant updates. All the best, and I'll catch you later.